Okay, we're going to try it one more time here. So, I'm Angelo Batio. Tonight's topic is economy picking. Hey, Cynthia, how are you? I don't know what happened before. I had to start it again. Hello? Hello, Cynthia. Hey, Joshua. Juan. Roxana, good night. CEO of Metal, yes. Hello from Sioux Falls, yes. Hey, JD, how are you? Thanks for helping out. Hey, Denny. Hey, Eric, how are you? Yeah, I started the live stream before, but I couldn't see any stats. Hey, Renee. Hey, Mickey, how are you? Hey, Ben, how are you? Hopefully I'll be in Texas again. Okay. I'm playing a really cool guitar. Let me make sure. I've been beating the heck out of this. This is the Sawtooth ET Relic. This guitar is mean. This comes from the factory like this. Hey, Alexis, how are you? I want to do some shout outs like I always do before. Hello, Roxana. Hey, Mary Beth, how are you? It's great to see you. Wolfgang, hey, man, great show the other night. Lexus, let me do some shout outs to, okay, Ben, yes, Tanya, Alexis, there's Denny, Brett, I think Nick is there too. Hey, Ethan, how are you? Philip, how are you? Yeah, great, man. Hey, Alexis, how are you? And, but I wanted to talk with this lesson about economy picking. Now, I'm going to have, hey, Nick, ET phone home? Yes, exactly. ET phone Sawtooth Guitars. And so, anyway, what I wanted to do on this live stream today is kind of focus in more. Yes, Joey, Robert. Okay, wait, Joey's mad because Robert's higher than Joey. Hey, I'm still the star of the show, but I'm going to lay back today. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is economy picking. And I'm playing a guitar that's one of the coolest guitars in the Sawtooth line. I mean, Sawtooth Guitars has exploded in the last year. And I mean, every signature guitar that I put out is doing fantastic. The guitars are just, getting great response. Hey, Rob, how are you? Rob Ross, my all-time best friend, the drummer from No Boundaries, 2X Again, all these songs. Even the first song, Dungeons of Love. In my Dungeons of Love. Who writes a song called Dungeons of Love? And then who finds out, I got a dungeon. Oh, my God. Anyway, yeah, Rob is phenomenal. And we do a lot of things. If you look at my YouTube page, you can see Rob's, we're kind of kindred spirits. Like, we're virtually the same age, same birth date. And he looks really young for his age. And, I try to look young for my age too. And, because rock and roll keeps you young. It's the spirit. Sometimes people go, dude, why don't you dress your age, bro? What? Are you serious? Should I slow down too? Should I play slow and play bad? Because I'm getting older. I mean, what ludicrous statements. I'm not going to change the way I dress the way I've always dressed. When I was 16 years old, I dressed like a rock star. When I was 20, I dressed like a rock star. I still dress like that. I have only a few kinds of clothes. Hey, Mickey, how are you? I have 1, workout clothes. 2, rock clothes. 2 plus 2 is metal 4 minus metal 1. 3, rock clothes. That's it. On stage rock clothes, normal rock clothes, workout clothes. That is it. And you know what my wardrobe consists of? Black! I never have to color coordinate because it's black. black is the color. Now I know it's a non-color, you know, I know all this stuff, but black is the color of metal. Now, I am playing, speaking of black, and then I'll go into economy picking. I am playing one of the coolest guitars in the Sawtooth line. This is the ET Relic. This comes from the factory at the most reasonable price of any Relic. Look at this. That is the back. Look at the neck on this guitar. It's beat to heck! But I want to show you something else too. I've got two of them. I've got two Relics here. Look at the hardware. See, look at the back of the guitar. See, look at that. It just beat up everything, but look at the hardware. The hardware is brand new. And we've talked about this on other live streams. Okay, let me set that down. It makes 0 sense to spend thousands of dollars on a guitar to have the pieces, the actual, the bridge, the pickups, things that are the structural integrity of the guitar, relic. It makes no sense at all. Relic the guitar like we do, and then put the parts on, and they're brand new. So what that means is that you can literally change it. I mean, I could never tour with a guitar with parts that were relic, because if something breaks, which it will, it's like driving a race car. Tires are gonna blow, things are gonna happen. It will happen. I mean, when you use something that much, you're gonna have to replace something. And so what happens on tour is if you have a relic part, how can you replace that part? You can't. But listen to this guitar, and I'm gonna just show. Here's the clean setting I'm using, the 40-watt combo. Just sounds mean. The clean sound. I've got reverb from the amp, I've got digital delay, and I use compression. Now, one of the cool, listen how great this guitar sounds. But like, journey to oh Lord, the wind, like the wind in the sky keeps on turning. Don't know where I'll be tomorrow, but I love it. Here's a really cool thing with this guitar. Watch. If I roll down the volume just a little bit with the compression. Now watch. It brightens it up. Sounds vicious. Now here's a really cool thing too. I've got a clean sound. Now I'm going to add my signature overdrive pedal to the clean sound with compression. so classic rock. I mean, it just sounds like just so vicious. I mean, Sawtooth, there's nobody that can compete with what we do. I mean, you buy a Fender, or I don't want to start saying other brand names, but when you get other Relic guitars, you have to pay thousands of dollars. It's just not that way with these guitars. We just know how to manufacture better. And we make the great parts, great sounding guitars. I mean, there's no faking this. I mean, this is the guitar, this is the amp, everything is the way it's supposed to be. And I mean, people know me, I've been around forever, so you know what I sound like, so I can shred with anybody. But, you know, this isn't about that. This guitar just sounds amazing. Here is that's the lipstick pickup. Like a... That's actually one of my songs, and I called it For Joe. I had the rhythm going like this. And then I had the melody going like this. So it's like, I mean, I just write so much stuff on it. Just, and I love this guitar. I mean, it just sounds so good, and it looks so freaking cool. I mean, look at that. I mean, it just beat. We beat it. We beat it into submission. But the parts are still looking new. The guitar is whipped. But the part... Now, I want to talk a little bit about, not a little bit, a lot about economy picking. One of the things, sorry, I'm tuning up. I have in my pedal board right now a grand total of 2 things. 1, a tuner. 2, my signature Overdrive. That's all I use. I don't use a lot of stuff. I never have. Like, I never used a wah lot, like going, in fact, you know, I know there's a lot going on in the Middle East right now, but I was in Israel playing about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was doing Voodoo Chow with an Israeli band. I went, I'm standing next to a mountain, stepping down with the edge of my hand. Then, you know, I've been standing next to a mountain, you know, and then it goes like, I'm a voodoo child, voodoo child. Y'all know I'm a voodoo child. And the reason I'm saying that, I don't use a wah. So what I did is I felt like Affleck, wah, 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 the duck. And so instead of going just like this, like, I had the audience, I said, look it, I don't use a wah. I do not like a wah. I think a wah sometimes clouds your playing. That you can go, you can find that like, and so, and I think it clouds sometimes what I do as an artist. For other people, it's great, but not for me. And so, because I did like no boundaries. What part of a wah, thing could be there? So what I did is I asked, can the audience simulate the wah for me? So I went, and the whole audience looked on, wow, 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 wow. It was awesome. I mean, really, it was one of the most fun things. And they did it really good. Like, I mean, they were into it. Like, you see the dudes in the front row, like, we are death. We are living, breathing death. We will kill you. But we're dead, so we're death. And they're like, wow, 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 wow. And I was like, yes. And I'm sitting there going, I had to do that. That's a tone control. Why? Because it's death to tone. Oh, I feel like I've got That's the tone control. Now, what does this have to do with economy picking? Absolutely nothing. But I use economy picking all the time. The older I've gotten, the more I realize, I've talked about this with alternate picking. When you think of a violin, hey, Amy, how are you? When you think of a violin bow, it's going back and forth like this, right? Like one note, one note, one note, one note, one note. So everything is like this. Like when you see a violinist just ripping and that bow is moving back and forth, that's the equivalent. Let's get some overdrive on this bad boy. You haven't even heard this with overdrive. So when you hear, that, that's all alternate picking. But I love the idea. See, if you go, like I talked about recently with string skipping, I can do economy picking with string skipping too, where it will be down, up, down. And the biggest difference, when you have, somebody said shout out, but I couldn't, I can see good, but I couldn't see what distortion pedal is that. It is mine. It's my signature overdrive. You can get it on Amazon, anywhere, all the big chains. It's from a company called Tom's Line Engineering. It is fantastic. It's this little mini pedal. Now, people that know me know that I'm tall and I wear big Harley boots. So I'm about 183, 184 centimeters, a little over 6 feet tall. And this pedal is really little, but it's got a bar over it to block you from like destroying the switch, like when you go like this, watch. On, off, on. I beat the hell out of this thing. I beat the heck out of it with Harley boots, but this little bar over it stops any kind of damage on the pedal. It's really great and it's really reasonable. But anyway, getting back to economy, watch. Now I've got my overdriver on. See, what I like to do with my tone is I like to have three basic sounds. I like to have a nice clean sound, which these 40 watts gets, great clean channel. I like to have an overdrive sound, but more classic rock like. But then if I want metal, I click, or a lead with a lot of sustain, then I click on the overdriver. And really, that's the secret. I mean, compression, I always have digital delay in the background on my solos. Okay, so I always do that, and I run it through the effects loop. There's an effects loop here. You see this little guy, that's this little blue light? It's going through the effects loop of the amp. So, because spatial effects have to be run through an effects loop, because, or else with overdrive, it's gonna mess up your sound. You're gonna have too many pedals moving in the front. See, it's almost like the back. It's like coming in the back door a little bit. But you always want reverb or spatial effects like delay going through the effects loop. And so, and then when I use overdrive, that goes from my guitar into the pedal board, into the amp. The overdrive is the signal chain from the front end. That is the back end, this is the front end. Now, we don't really call it that. This is just the effects loop. This is the signal chain from the guitar to the amp. So I have the overdrive channel on and my distortion pedal on. Can you hear how thick that is? Just got it. It's got a really thick sound. Now, when I want to make it sound like, I want to be Rambo, damn it, I want to be Rambo with machine guns. Just bullets, a lot of bullets in the gun, a lot of guns, bullets. I can use alternate picking. But if I want to make it even faster, I can use economy picking. And I've said this before. Frank Abali, who's a master at economy picking, said that he thinks economy picking has a fifth gear. Now, I think the reason he said it because he doesn't like Al Di Meola because they both played with Chick Corea. Now, it's only my personal attitude. I love them both. Al Di Meola is one of my all-time inspirations, and Frank Abali, I like him personally. I know him. I can't say we're best friends, but we know each other by name. And I love his guitar playing. And so, but I think, why be one or the other? Use them both. If you want a machine gun or a 9mm, who's to stop you? And so you can use, you have other, and I'm equating it to guns, even though, I'm not saying that I'm, this, anyway, it's not a political thing. It's just a metaphor. And so, and the idea is this, that the more weapons you have to use in your musical arsenal, the better equipped you are, the more tools that you have. Let's use that. The more tools in the toolbox that you have, the more jobs you can do, the more diverse your toolbox is. And so instead of going like alternate picking, I can do economy picking, which is not down. Alternate picking is literally, it's like running. It's like, okay, wait, I'm running. One step, like this. But economy is like this. Down. See, not down, up like this. It's like this. See, Robert and Joey had to agree to this. See, it's like that. So when you hit a new string, you're moving in the same direction as the last pick that you hit on the old string. And so what it... See, I can go down, up. Alternate pick. Right? Like this. I can use economy picking and go down, up, down, down. Then I can move back going up, like this. Watch my picking here. Down, up, down, down, up, up. I had to add it with a little flash. I had to end it. Why? Because that's what I do. So, but do you see how smooth that is and how articulate those notes are? So you can just go. I moved it to E flat there. That's why it sounded a little weird. Because why? Why not? I like E flat. And so, but the point is this, that economy picking is so essential. I have a song called Hands Without Shadows, and the main riff is. But in the beginning, I go like this. Now, it's a lot of alternate picking, but not all of it. And see, what I do is I mix economy picking. See, I find ways. The reason why I think economy picking works really good is because it's economical. It literally is what its name says. And so I'll give you a great example. There's a part in Hands Without Shadows. This is what I was getting to. When I originally played it, I went like, it's a harmonic minor scale, like going like what? That's an A harmonic minor, then it moves, then it modulates, but it doesn't even modulate. Well, it's called an abrupt modulation, where there's no 5/5 chord, there's no secondary dominant like I've talked about in the past. It just abruptly modulates from A harmonic minor back to F sharp minor. And so what I did was I used all alternate picking. But I can use economy. I can play it a little differently, and it's actually easier. And so one of the things that you have to do with economy picking is realize a few things. One, it's very easy once you master it to play more effortlessly. Like when I break into like super fast passages now, I don't just use alternate picking, which is what I'm known for, and I've been analyzed, scrutinized, many times over the years. But what I do is I incorporate economy picking as a technique that enables me just to make it more effortless. Because see, you're not doing this. When you're doing alternate picking, everything's wah, wah. It's like Sam Kennison, whoa, whoa, whoa. Everything is like full on, bro, full on. See, when you play with economy picking, you're not doing as much work with the pick. So your fingers, so it lightens the workload. But it still sounds just as aggressive if you play hard. And so instead of like, which is alternate picking, watch economy. I'll do it again. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Now watch. Down. Now see, I'm ready to move to the new string. I hit a down pick, up pick, up pick. It's just so ridiculously fast. And so what you do when you practice this is you practice it slow. I literally see one of the downsides of economy is that it doesn't work for everything. And that's why I don't agree with Frank Gambale that, like just economy picking is the way to go. Because if I asked Frank, I said, well, Frank, I want to do a riff that sounds like Al Di Meola, and then economy picking does not work as well with certain directions of music. I don't want to say patterns because that means that, he's playing in a scale, he's playing in a pattern. But see, economy picking has limitations of how it works. It has to work within the framework of like down, down, up, work, whereas alternate picking does not. Like in No Boundaries, I did recently I showed just a segment where I go like, so I went, it's almost all alternate picking except for one pull-off, and it's one note per string. It's super hard to play at the speed that I play it. But, so that is a limitation. Economy picking would be, you can do it, but it would be very difficult. And so it's a good idea when you're playing guitar to keep an open mind and to think, okay, economy picking works. For example, when Frank Gambale showed, and if you don't know Frank Gambale, he's an Australian guitar player. He was around in the 80s, and he played with Chick Corea. He's really brilliant, and I love him. And so, but if you play a major scale, for example, with alternate picking, I'm going to use a kind of an open. I'm going to use an open position, which means that it's more than 4 frets. It's 5 frets. Now watch. Now that's really easy to do with alternate picking. I can end with the hammer and pull. But see, economy, you have to, it doesn't really work as well as alternate picking. In other words, you can't play anything you want. You have to kind of work out, like watch. See, hear this? You have to work out how you get back down to make down, down, and up, up from string to string work. And that's the drawback of economy picking. It does not work for everything. But when it does work, it rules. And that's why it's such a valid technique. And so I hope you got something out of this. I mean, I talk about this extensively in my lessons. And if you want really incredibly detailed, you can go to metalmethod.com and get my programs. But economy is an essential part of my style like I kind of like look at myself as Conan the Barbarian. Like if you saw the movies, The Age of Steel. And then there's also the age that's one step ahead of steel. I feel nowadays I'm one step ahead of steel. But when I was in the Age of Steel, it was only alternate. I was the alternate picking fanatic, and I still am. But what I do is I use the gifts that I have, and to make the best music, I just ask myself the simple question, like, what sounds the best? Especially, if I'm gonna play like a clean, telly sound, I mean, do I really need alternate picking all the time? And sorry, I'm a tuning fanatic, making sure. Like, that is the bridge position. Now, do I need that? Now, watch. You roll back just a little bit. I roll back the volume just a little bit, and it lightens up the compression, but it brings out the brightness. Now, watch. I'm going to move the volume back up. See how it how the compression kicks in, makes it a little girthier. Now watch. See, I lighten up. I mean, it sounds every bit as good. See, I lightened up on the volume a little bit. Here's full volume. I love that sound, but it's not quite as like attack. It just doesn't get it. You have to experiment a little. Like there's a song by Genesis called Squonk. These ET relics just sound fantastic. They look fantastic. I love it, and the price is really reasonable. My song, the song with Holland, not just mine. Tommy Holland wrote it too. He wrote the majority of it, and then I came up with "Gotta Run." My contribution, when you contribute a chorus, pretty big thing. So anyway, but you can hear this incredible, and see, yes, Squonk. See, a lot of people go. Technically that's correct, but that's not the right sound. I love this part. I also love selling England by the pound, like citizens are moving away. But there's just so many beautiful things, and this guitar just, with this amp, with compression, and like I said, compression, reverb, delay. That's what you need. The rest of it is really up to you. But if you have a great guitar, a great amp, and some good pedals, it just sounds amazing. And with economy picking, what I do with economy picking is I look at every technique. Here's what economy picking would sound like clean. Watch. Alternate. Economy. See, it's super fast, but it doesn't have quite the bullets in the gun, so see what I mean? It's a little softer sounding with a clean sound, and because you're not hitting every note with the intensity, but it's such a great technique, and it's one of the things that over the years I've really become an expert on economy picking, and I use it very much in my style. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about before I go here is that the Go DPS Music Live app, download it. It's free. There's no, free is free. There's no free for 3 months. It's free. Go DPS Live app. Now, I worked with Vinny Appice, the drummer that played in Black Sabbath, with Ronnie James Dio and Dio. So when you hear these classics, that's Vinny on drums. Well, we covered a lot of Vinny songs. Rudy Sarzo on bass that played with Ozzy, with Randy Rhoads. So when he plays Crazy Train, he played it with Ozzy singing it and Randy Rhoads playing the guitar. So, people say, why don't you do some originals? They are originals. They're originals from the original people who did them. And so we are releasing Heaven and Hell tomorrow. Melody from the band Lilac. This girl is young and she is one old soul. She sounds incredible. Nicest girl that you could imagine. And Lilac is a family band. Their mom and dad, operated. It's just really an incredible operation. But, so we're going. Listen how in tune that is. I mean, it's just great. And so we are releasing Heaven and Hell tomorrow. It is a fantastic version, and it's live and in your face. There are no audio edits, no nothing. It is live, and you can see how the bad boys and girl does it. It's really an incredible version. Now, one last thing, too, I want to say. It goes on and on and on, heaven. I just love it. There's so many dynamics in that song, and it's really long. I mean, it's a long tune. So for us to play it that perfectly, and Rudy is just riffing out on the bass, and then Vinny's just playing perfectly. I mean, there's not many better drummers than Vinny Appice. So when you reach a league that high, it's not better. It's like, well, okay, I might like this drummer style a little better, but it's not better. Vinny is at the top of his game. Rudy's the top echelon of bass players. So, it's not like you're going to get better. And there's so many Vinny Appice disciples. When he hits a drum, that drum knows that he means it. And so you're going to hear Heaven and Hell tomorrow on the Go DPS Live app. Also, check out my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is awesome. I've got over 100 videos, and we always put the live streams on here. But there's so many cool things. Like when you hear excerpts of what I do on other social media, the full versions are always on YouTube. But I want to say this. Just look at this guitar. It comes from the factory like that with new hardware. And so we do things that we like. And this is the first, I've been with several other big companies in my life, and I've designed guitars that were very successful, but this is the first time in my life I've ever been involved so heavily in the manufacturing, and that we are doing things to make it affordable to you and delivering fantastic guitars. Fantastic. I mean, from even relics, everybody, there are other, you can't touch a relic for thousands of dollars, but we do something cooler. We give you a relic with new hardware so that new hardware can be replaced if you need to replace something, which I'm just telling you, think of your car. Every once in a while you need to get the oil changed, you need to get your windshield wipers changed. It's the same is true with a guitar. When you play music as much as I do and you tour as much as I do, which, speaking of that, I'm going to be on a USA tour in September and October and a European tour in November and December, and then I'm going out again in the beginning of next year in the United States. I'm covering the entire United States and a bunch of countries in Europe, and it's our best European tour ever. We are going to be in France. We are going to be in Italy. We're going to be in Spain. We're going to be in Poland. We are going to be in Finland. It's probably, I haven't looked up at all the countries, but at least a dozen European countries. It's the absolute, Germany, Austria. It's the best European tour I've ever had. So I want to just say this. Sawtooth Guitars rule. I'm going to continue to do this live stream as long as I can. I've been doing it over a year. And yeah, somebody wrote Harry Sherry from the movie Shock 'em Dead. It's just nice. Everything that I've ever done in music, from the time I was a professional, I was a professional my whole life, but once I graduated college, from Shrapnel Records on, every single major work I've ever done is available. Every one, 100%, and I'm very grateful for that. I'd just like to say this. On behalf of Sawtooth Guitars, Sawtooth Amps, Chromacast, and Go DPS Music Live, I'm Angelo Batio. Joey! That was Robert, but he never says anything. They were calm today because I wanted to impart the seriousness of economy picking and the way I take technique. I take guitar very serious, but I have a great time doing it. It's music. I love music, but I have fun. There's nothing wrong with having fun. Anyway, I'm Angelo Batio. See ya!